Senate confirmation hearings begin tomorrow for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, President Biden's nominee for the Supreme Court. She's the first black woman nominated to become a Supreme Court justice. President Biden tapped Brown Jackson to fill Justice Stephen Breyer's seat on the High Court. Earlier this year, Breyer announced he will retire from the bench this summer. There are currently 6 conservatives on the Supreme Court, and if Brown Jackson gets confirmed, she will not change the political outline of the bench. Julia Manchester is a reporter with The Hill. She joins us now with more on what Judge Brown Jackson will face during these hearings, which begin tomorrow. And welcome, Julia. Good to see you. All nominees, right, face brutal attacks in this confirmation process. What are you anticipating?
Yeah, absolutely, Rudabeh, they do. And this is actually the first time since 2010 where we'll see an appointed judge to serve as a justice before the Senate Judiciary Committee. So this is a big moment. We also know that Ketanji Brown Jackson would obviously be the first black woman to serve on the Supreme Court. We've gotten a little bit of a hint as to what she's facing from Republicans who are really looking to step up their attacks. You know, when she was appointed or nominated last year to serve on the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C., we saw her come under questioning from a number of Republican and Democratic senators, talking about a number of hot-button topics here in U.S. politics and policy, including the abortion debate, for example, affirmative action. But there is the question as to what the role of race will ultimately play in all of this. We know that Ketanji Brown Jackson has very much talked about her experience as a black woman, her experience as a public defender. We know that her Democratic allies have definitely touted that as a part of the package of her they're pushing forward. But Republicans will be treading very carefully on that issue because of the historical nature of all of this. That being said, though, issues like affirmative action, like police justice reform, that kind of thing, that will definitely play a role in the questioning we see this week.
And the affirmative action topic is a kind of an interesting / ironic one, right? Because President Biden, before even nominating her, pledged to nominate a black woman.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is something obviously the Supreme Court has never seen before. And we've actually seen in recent years the Supreme Court become more diverse. Obviously, Justice Sonia Sotomayor was one of the first Latina women, for example, over 10 years ago to be appointed to the court. So this is a major history-making moment. And Republicans need to tread carefully on this because it's obviously historic. But, right now, a lot of these policy issues that we're talking about, there are so many issues, intersections between policy and race, for example, with affirmative action, with criminal justice reform, with policing. So it'll be interesting to see how Republicans question Judge Jackson on those issues.
Yeah, and when we talk about justice reform, she's also the first nominee to have served as a public defender, right? And right now, Republicans are focused on crime. Will that experience help or hurt her?
I think it could potentially help her. I think this is she's going to be talking about her personal experience working in this realm, her experience, watching this play out and really getting a front row seat to this. At the same time, though, I think you were going to see Republicans very much try to talk about drug sentencing, for example, how she represented a detainee at Guantanamo Bay. We'll see how that plays out because these are issues that politically Republicans are really trying to gin up ahead of the midterm elections, this issue of crime in particular and rising crime in the United States. Another issue is abortion, with the Supreme Court set to rule on that issue with a 15-week Mississippi abortion ban later in June. So these are very controversial social issues that she's going to be questioned on, but we do know that Democrats have a majority in the Senate with Kamala Harris, the vice president, serving as a tie-breaking vote. So she's definitely doesn't have as uphill of a climb as maybe past nominees have had.
And finally, we know Supreme Court nominations are always ground for political theater as well, right? And for lawmakers to make themselves, to put themselves in the spotlight. Who are you watching on the stage? Sometimes people reveal themselves to have presidential ambitions. Who are you going to be looking at?
Yeah, there's three senators in particular that I'll be watching for, and they're all potential 2024 White House contenders. We have Ted Cruz, Tom Cotton from Arkansas, and obviously Josh Hawley from Missouri. These are all three Republican, very conservative senators who have talked a lot about the judicial process, their experience in law, the conservative aspect of that. So we can expect these three who, many would say have higher political ambitions. Let's see what kind of sound bites they get in this.
And Julia, I'm just getting breaking news in my ear right now from my producer that Justice Clarence Thomas is in the hospital. Do you know anything about that?
This is news to me, Rutabaga, but that's certainly, big news. We know that whenever a Supreme Court justice has to, experiences health problems or, has to go to the hospital, for example, that's a big deal because, the seat could potentially be in jeopardy. I don't know exactly the circumstances surrounding Justice Thomas's hospitalization. However, it's big news because we know that these are lifetime appointees whenever there's a vacancy on the court, and not saying there's a vacancy here, we're still getting more information, but whenever there's a vacancy, we do know that a lot of attention is paid to this issue.
And he is a pretty, all of them are high profile, of course, the justices, but he is one that people watch in particular. He makes a lot of headlines.
He does. He makes a lot of headlines. He is also a Black conservative justice. He is very much seen as a champion of conservatives and, very much touted by conservatives and used by conservatives to try to appeal to the Black community. But he obviously has a very controversial past. His own nomination process was controversial in itself with Anita Hill and those sexual misconduct allegations against him. So Clarence Thomas has always been, a champion, I would say, on the right, but the left has absolutely very much pushed back against him.
And I'm told he has flu-like symptoms. That's all we know at this hour right now, that Justice Clarence Thomas is hospitalized with flu-like symptoms. Julia, sorry, thank you for joining us tonight as we get this breaking news. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.